Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Arabic ebook before it's gone.
In this video, you will learn 20 of the most common words and phrases in Arabic. Hi everybody, my name is Nora. Welcome to the 800 Core Arabic Words and Phrases video series. This series will teach you the 800 most common words and phrases in Arabic. But there's a twist. With each new lesson in this series, we will include the previous lessons at the end. So after you've learned the new words and phrases, stick around and review what you learned in previous lessons. Reviewing is one of the most important parts of learning a language. You can also get the full list right now at ArabicPod101.com. Click the link in the description to access more example sentences, create your own flashcard deck, and finally master Arabic. Okay, let's get started. First is مرحبا. Hello. مرحبا. مرحبا. Hello. عندما ألتقي بأحد لأول مرة، أحب أن أقول مرحبا. When I meet someone for the first time, I like to say hello. عندما ألتقي بأحد لأول مرة، أحب أن أقول مرحبا. لو سمحت. Excuse me. لو سمحت. لو سمحت. Excuse me. لو سمحت. هذا الكرسي لي. Excuse me. This is supposed to be my seat. لو سمحت. هذا الكرسي لي. أنا آسف. I'm sorry. أنا آسف. أنا آسف. I'm sorry. أنا آسف ولكني أحتاج إلى وقت إضافي لهذا المشروع. I'm sorry, but I need some additional time for this project. أنا آسف ولكني أحتاج إلى وقت إضافي لهذا المشروع. تصبح على خير. Good night. تصبح على خير. Good night. تصبح على خير يا عمي. Good night, uncle. تصبح على خير يا عمي. تشرفنا. Nice to meet you. تشرفنا. تشرفنا. Nice to meet you. تفضل. تشرفنا. Please come in. It's nice to meet you. تفضل. تشرفنا. كيف حالك؟ How are you? كيف حالك؟ كيف حالك؟ How are you? الحمد لله. كيف حالك؟ I'm doing very well. How are you? الحمد لله. كيف حالك؟ نعم. Yes. نعم. نعم. Yes. نعم، إنه لذيذ. Yes, it's tasty. نعم، إنه لذيذ. لا. No. لا. لا. No. علامة لا. No sign. علامة لا. شكرا. Thank you. شكرا. شكرا. Thank you. شكرا على الدعوة. Thank you for the invitation. شكرا على الدعوة. أنا. I am. أنا. أنا. I am. أنا آية. I am آية. أنا آية. مع السلامة. Goodbye. مع السلامة. مع السلامة. Goodbye. مع السلامة. أراك غدا. Goodbye. See you tomorrow. مع السلامة. أراك غدا. سيء. bad. سيء. سيء. bad. الأكل سيء. The food is bad. الأكل سيء. جيد. good. جيد. جيد. good. الخضروات جيدة لصحتك. Vegetables are good for you. الخضروات جيدة لصحتك. جميلة. pretty. جميلة. جميلة. pretty. أنت جميلة جدا. You are so pretty. أنت جميلة جدا. بشع. ugly. بشع. 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 ugly. وجه بشع. ugly face. وجه بشع. سهل. easy. سهل. سهل. easy. هذه المشكلة سهلة. This problem is easy. هذه المشكلة سهلة. صعب. difficult. صعب. صعب. difficult. صعب جدا. very difficult. صعب جدا. قريب من. near. قريب من. قريب من. near. سكني قريب من الجامعة. I live near the university. سكني قريب من الجامعة. بعيد. far. بعيد. بعيد. far. المرأة تنظر إلى شيء بعيد. The woman is looking at something far away. المرأة تنظر إلى شيء بعيد. صغير. small. صغير. 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 small. كتكوت صغير. small chick. كتكوت صغير. Well done! In this lesson, you expanded your vocabulary and learned 20 new useful words. Click the link in the description and sign up for free at ArabicPod101.com to get access to the full list of vocabulary you need for daily life conversations. You'll also get example sentences, custom flashcard decks, and more learning resources. See you next time. Salam!
أهلاً بكم أنا كارول. Welcome to ArabicPod101.com's Abjadiyya Made Easy, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn the Arabic alphabet, the Abjadiyya. In the last lesson, we learned two letters, Alif and Nun. These letters have English counterparts. In this lesson, we'll continue our study of the Arabic alphabet by learning more letters that have English counterparts. Ready to go? Well then, let's get started. In this lesson, we learned these three letters. Note how they all look a lot like each other. This will help you memorize them. And because these have English counterparts, we know for sure that they are going to be easy to pronounce. Remember the noon we learned in the previous lesson? There are two differences between the noon and the three letters we're learning in this lesson. The first difference is the number and position of the dots. The second difference is that the isolated version of the noon dips beneath the line like this, while the three letters in this lesson don't. Our first letter of this lesson is ba, and yeah, it makes a B sound. You can remember this because the dot is below the boat shape. Let's study the different ways to write it together. Now you write it. Ba. As we studied in the previous lesson, there are many forms for every letter in Arabic. The letter ba has 4 possible positions: isolated, initial, medial, and final. Let's see the remaining 3: initial, medial, final. Now we'll write them. Ba. That's all there is to ba. Let's move on. The second letter you'll learn in this lesson is another one that looks like ba. Ta. As you can see, the only difference is in the position and the number of the dots. The pronunciation is like the English T, except you should release your breath with a strong burst of air. Try it. Ta. Here's how to write the isolated version. Ta. This letter also has 4 possible positions: isolated, initial, medial, and final. Let's see the remaining 3. Okay, let's write them. Ta. Now let's finish up this lesson with the third letter of this group. Our final letter is tha. That's like the TH in the English word thief. Pretty easy, right? Tha has 3 dots on top of the boat-like letter, written in a triangle-like shape. Tha carries an extra letter, so we add a third dot. A third dot like 3. Here's how to write the isolated version. Tha. You're almost there. Here are the remaining variations of this letter: initial, medial, and final. Once you practice writing these a few times, they won't seem so difficult. Tha. Well done! I think you're ready to learn a new word. Can you read this? It's pronounced ab. This is the word for father in Arabic. The first letter is an isolated alif. We learned that in the previous lesson. Then there's an isolated ba. Pretty easy, huh? Now let's practice writing it. Ab. Now it's time for Carol's tips. Here's a useful reminder for memorizing the characters we've learned in this lesson. For the letter ba, the dot is below the line, and for the letters ta and tha, the dots are at the top. Be sure to add ana and ab to your notebook. We'll be learning new words in each lesson, and by the end of the series, you will have a very useful collection of words that you wrote yourself. In this lesson, we met 3 letters that look alike. In the next lesson, we'll see 3 more letters that look alike. See you in the next Abjadiya Made Easy lesson. Salam!
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.
أهلا بكم أنا كارول. Welcome to ArabicPod101.com's أبجدية Made Easy, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn the Arabic alphabet, the أبجدية. In the first two lessons, we covered the 5 letters Alif, Nun, Ba, Ta, and Tha in the Arabic alphabet. Now we're going to take a look at some Arabic letters that are slightly more difficult to pronounce. I'll try to explain them in a simple way. Ready to go? Let's get started. In this lesson, we learn how to read and write 3 letters that look alike. Writing them should be easy, but pronouncing them is the most challenging part. Our first letter is Jim. This one is easy to pronounce. It's somewhere between a G and a J, depending on the accent. For example, Standard Arabic, Syrian, or Egyptian. In Standard Arabic and Syrian Arabic, it should sound like the J in the word jam, while in Egyptian Arabic, it sounds like the G in the word game. They're both quite easy to pronounce though. Now let's handwrite the isolated form. Jim. Here are the initial, medial, and final versions of Jim. Now we'll write them. Jim. The second letter we learn in this lesson is Ha. As you can see, it looks like the Jim, but without the dot in the hook. But of course, it doesn't sound like it. Ha is the first letter of the second group, meaning that it has no counterpart in English. It sounds like the sound you make when trying to cool your mouth and throat after eating something very spicy. The closest English counterpart to the sound is H. The only difference is that it comes from a point deeper down in your throat, just like this. Try it yourself. Here's how to write the isolated version. Ha. Here are the initial, medial, and final versions of Ha. Now we'll write them. Ha. The last letter we learn here is the Kha. This letter, like the Ha, has no English counterpart. Kha is a sound some people make when they laugh. It's also similar to the sound people make when they snore. According to phonetic charts, Ha is pronounced in a deeper part of the throat than Kha. Listen and repeat. Kha. Kha. Both Kha and Ha have no English counterparts. They're a bit tricky to pronounce, so let's practice these 2 letters in some words. First, a word which has Kha is khad. Khad means cheek in English. And one that has Ha is had. Had means limit. Can you hear the difference between khad and had? It might take some time before you can hear the differences clearly, so don't worry about it too much. Here's how to write the isolated version. Kha. Like its 2 friends, it has 3 other forms: initial, medial, and final. Now we'll write them. Kha. Let's learn a word using some of these letters. Taj. Repeat after me. Taj. Taj means crown. That's ta in the initial form, alif in the final form, and jim in the isolated form, disconnected from the alif before it, because as we learned in the first lesson, the alif connects differently. Now let's try writing it. Taj. First, write the ta. The boat connected to the alif, the two dots, then the jim in the isolated form. Nice work! Now it's time for Carol's tips. You may feel that Arabic cursive is difficult and has a lot of rules. It might feel foreign at first, but you'll get used to it if you start reading written Arabic frequently. Practice writing some words from the letters we've learned so far. Try the following. Najaha, meaning to succeed. Jan, meaning side. Hajj, meaning pilgrimage. Good job! Well, that's all for this lesson. We'll continue next time with a few more letters that look alike. Don't worry, next lesson's letters are very easy to pronounce. I'll see you in the next Abjadiya Made Easy lesson. Salam! مرحبا أنا كارول. Hi everybody, I'm Carol. Welcome to ArabicPod101.com's العربية في 3 دقائق, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Arabic. In the last lesson, we learned the phrases هل تتكلم الإنجليزية? Do you speak English? And هل بإمكانك التكلم بالإنجليزية? Could you speak English? And we mentioned the word من فضلك, which means please in Arabic. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use al-ma'dhira or afwan and ana asif and other words when apologizing in Arabic. We should use al-ma'dhira or afwan when we want to say excuse me, such as when we are ordering something in a bar or a restaurant. For example, al-ma'dhira qahwa min fadlika or afwan qahwa min fadlika. Excuse me, a coffee please. We can also use it when asking a question. المعذرة أين المحطة? Or عفواً أين المحطة? Excuse me, where is the station? Sometimes we also hear people say من فضلك or please to draw somebody's attention. من فضلك. If the person is a woman, we replace the ending with ki, so it becomes من فضلك. In case you want to use excuse me to apologize instead of asking something, you should say عذراً. It can be used if you accidentally bump into someone on the street. عذراً. Just like عذراً, we can use أنا آسف when apologizing. It literally means I'm sorry or pardon me. As we learned in the last lesson, أنا means I. So the adjective that follows should be modified according to the gender. So if you're a woman, you should say أنا آسفة instead of أنا آسف. All of these phrases can be used for either excuse me or I'm sorry. But if you really want to apologize for something, it might be better to use a different phrase. That phrase is the verb سامحني. سامحني. It can be translated as forgive me in English. It is a bit stronger, but it can be used in both formal and informal situations. Again, since سامحني means that you are asking for the other person's forgiveness, it should be changed according to the gender. So it becomes سامحيني if the other person is a female. سامحيني. Now it's time for Carol's tips. Please remember that in most of the Arab countries, if you accidentally bump into someone, you don't say, forgive me, سامحني, which is for a more serious annoyance. Instead, we say, عذراً or أنا آسف, excuse me or I am sorry. Are you able to count in Arabic? In the next lesson, we will learn the digits in Arabic from 1 to 9. I'll be waiting for you in our next العربية في 3 دقائق lesson. إلى اللقاء في المرة القادمة.
Hi everyone, I'm Perihan and today we're going to have the top 25 Arabic phrases. So let's begin. Assalamu alaikum. Hello. Assalamu alaikum. Hello. So this is the most basic greeting we have in Arabic. So if you enter anywhere, please say Assalamu alaikum. Sabah al khair. Good morning. Sabah al khair. Good morning. And this is so easy. When you see someone in the morning, just tell them Sabah al khair. It sounds cool. مساء الخير. Good afternoon. مساء الخير. That is good afternoon. تصبح على خير. Good night. تصبح على خير. That is good night. When someone goes to bed, you simply tell them تصبح على خير. Good night. ما اسمك? What's your name? السلام عليكم. ما اسمك? Hello. What's your name? أنا بريهان. I am Perihan. So in reply, the other person says أنا and then their name. أنا means I am and then they put their name. So ما اسمك? What's your name? أنا بريهان. I am Perihan. تشرفنا. Nice to meet you. تشرفنا. Nice to meet you. So now you have a whole conversation. ما اسمك? أنا بريهان. تشرفنا. What's your name? I am Perihan. Nice to meet you. كيف حالك? How are you? كيف حالك? How are you? How are you doing? السلام عليكم. كيف حالك? Hello. How are you doing? أنا بخير. شكرا. ماذا عنك? I'm fine. Thanks. And you? And this is the reply to السلام عليكم. كيف حالك? That is hello. How are you? And you say أنا بخير. شكرا. ماذا عنك? I'm fine. Thank you. How about you? من فضلك. Please. من فضلك. That means please. So you can say اجلس من فضلك, which means please sit down. شكرا. Thank you. شكرا, which means thank you. شكرا على الهدية. Thank you for the present. عفوا. You're welcome. عفوا. You're welcome. So from the beginning, شكرا على الهدية. Thank you for the present. And you reply, عفوا. You're welcome. نعم. Yes. نعم, which means yes. So for example, you can say, هل تريد قهوة? Do you want coffee? And you reply with نعم. Yes. And you can also add من فضلك. من فضلك, please. لا. No. The opposite of it, لا. لا, which means no. So one more. هل تريد قهوة? Do you want coffee? No. لا. And you can say شكرا. Thank you. حسنا. Okay. حسنا. Okay. فلنذهب إلى الحديقة. Let's go to the park. And you say حسنا. حسنا. Okay. عذرا. Excuse me. عذرا, which means excuse me. So for example, you can say عذرا علي الذهاب. عذرا علي الذهاب, which means excuse me, I have to go. أنا آسف. I am sorry. أنا آسف, which means I'm sorry. For example, you can say أنا آسف على التأخير. I'm sorry I am late. كم الساعة? What time is it? كم الساعة, which means what time is it? You can ask someone كم الساعة? كم الساعة الآن? Which means what time is it now? And you can say it's 1:30. إنها الواحدة والنصف. إنها الواحدة والنصف. أين المرحاض? Where is the restroom? أين المرحاض? Where is the restroom? So you can say عذرا أين المرحاض? Excuse me, where is the restroom? انتظر لحظة. Wait a moment. عذرا انتظر لحظة, which means excuse me, wait a moment. بكم هذا? How much is this? بكم هذا الفستان? How much is this dress? الحساب لو سمحت. Could I get the check, please? So, for example, if you're in a restaurant, you can do this simple hand sign, which is like this, and you say, الحساب لو سمحت. الحساب لو سمحت. Could I have the check, please? النجدة. Help. النجدة, which means help. So, for example, you can say, لقد سرقت حقيبتي. My bag was stolen. النجدة. Help. أراك لاحقاً. See you later. أراك لاحقاً, which means see you later. So when you say goodbye to your friend, you tell him أراك لاحقاً. And if you're saying goodbye to a group of friends, you say أراكم لاحقاً. أراكم لاحقاً. مع السلامة. Goodbye. مع السلامة, which means goodbye. أنا ذاهب إلى المنزل. مع السلامة. I'm going home. Goodbye. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and please subscribe and comment below about your favorite Arabic phrase. Goodbye. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Okay.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.
Welcome to ArabicPod101.com's العربية في 3 دقائق, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Arabic. مرحباً, أنا كارول, سررت بلقائك. Hi, I'm Carol, nice to meet you. In this series, العربية في 3 دقائق, we're going to learn basic Arabic expressions. It's super easy and it takes only 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Arabic. There are a few other ways to say it depending on how formal you want to be. Let's first look at an informal way to introduce yourself in Arabic. مرحباً, أنا كارول, سررت بلقائك. Hi, I'm Carol, it's a pleasure to meet you. مرحباً, أنا كارول, سررت بلقائك. Now you try it. Start by saying مرحباً, which is the equivalent of hi. Then say أنا, literally I am, followed by your name. أنا كارول is I am Carol. Finally, say nice to meet you. If you're talking to a man, you say سررت بلقائك. If you are talking to a woman, say سررت بلقائك. This phrase means pleasure to meet you. In the English phrase pleasure to meet you, you is a neutral word. You can use it for both men and women. But in Arabic, the word you needs a gender. When you change the last letter in لقائك, a, to an e sound, لقائك, you are actually changing the word you from the male to the female version. Please be careful to use the correct version. Now let's see another way of introducing yourself. In this version, you will say, Hi, my name is Carol instead of Hi, I am Carol. And we will learn another way of saying nice to meet you. مرحبا, اسمي كارول. تشرفت بمعرفتك. Hi, my name is Carol. I am honored to meet you. مرحبا, اسمي كارول. تشرفت بمعرفتك. What has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a close look at these together. First, مرحبا, أنا كارول has changed to مرحبا, اسمي كارول. So, instead of saying, Hi, I am Carol, we are speaking in a more formal way by saying, Hi, my name is Carol. Next, after giving your name, instead of saying سررت بلقائك, you say تشرفت بمعرفتك, or I am honored to meet you, which is a bit more formal. Again, we should not forget to change the ending of the word depending on the gender of the person you're speaking to. It would be تشرفت بمعرفتك for a man and تشرفت بمعرفتك in case of a woman. One more time, here are the 4 ways you learn to introduce yourself in Arabic. Informally, مرحبا, أنا كارول, سررت بلقائك if you are speaking to a man, and مرحبا, أنا كارول, سررت بلقائك if you are speaking to a woman. The formal way to introduce yourself is مرحبا, اسمي كارول, تشرفت بمعرفتك if the person you're talking to is a man. and مرحباً اسمي كارول تشرفت بمعرفتك if that person is a woman. Now it's time for Carol's tips. When you introduce yourself in the Middle East or Northern African countries, it's polite to offer your right hand for a handshake or give 3 kisses on the cheeks, although the rules vary depending on where you are. Arab people place great value on politeness. So, for example, it is considered rude to enter a room or a place without greeting everyone. If you use the right sentence to introduce yourself, they'll definitely be impressed. Do you know how to say thank you in Arabic? You will learn how to say this and many other words in the next lesson. نراكم في المرة القادمة. See you next time.
أهلاً بكم، أنا كارول. Welcome to ArabicPod101.com's Abjadiyya Made Easy, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn the Arabic alphabet, the Abjadiyya. Over the next 20 lessons, you'll learn everything there is to know about the reading and writing of the Arabic language. By the end, you'll be ready to dive into the world of Arabic literature, make your way through Arabian cities, and really accelerate your Arabic study. Ready to start? Then let's go. The Arabic alphabet contains 28 letters and their variations. Seeing them laid out like this might seem intimidating, but the trick is to take it step by step, letter by letter. Don't worry about how hard it looks now, just stick with me and in a few short lessons you'll see how easy it actually is. I have some really good news for you. Arabic is largely phonetic. This means words are pronounced exactly like they're written. Also, most Arabic sounds have counterparts in English. We'll use this similarity to English to tackle the Arabic writing system. Let's separate the letters into 2 types. The first type are the Arabic letters that have English counterparts, and the second type are those that don't. In this lesson, we learn 2 letters needed to write the pronoun I in Arabic. Both of them belong to the first type, so expect them to be really easy to pronounce. Ready? Let's begin. We'll start with Alif. So what sound does this letter make? That's easy. It's just like its English counterpart A in the word apple. Alif is very easy to write. It's basically a vertical stick. Now it's time to take out your pens and pencils. We're going to practice writing. Find some paper and follow along. We'll practice writing them so you can get used to the shapes. Okay, here we go. Alif. Nice. Time for the next letter? Not quite. You just saw the isolated version of Alif. However, Arabic is a cursive language. That means every letter in a word connects to the letter before or after it. So every time I introduce a new letter in this series, I'll also show you how it's written in all its possible positions. Let's get to know the different possible positions for a letter in Arabic. It's always one of 4: isolated, initial, medial, or final. Let's look at each of them. Isolated means that the letter has no letters before it or after it. It's the standard form we learned just a few minutes ago. Initial means that the letter lies in the beginning of a word, so it's connected to the letter after it, but has no letters before it. Are you confused because the initial position connects to the letter to the left of it? That's because Arabic is written from right to left. Medial means that the letter is connected from back and front to other letters. And final means that the letter is the last letter in a word, so it's only connected to the letter before it. With the exception of 6 letters, we must learn the 4 possible forms for all the letters in the Arabic alphabet. Those 6 exception letters don't have a distinct medial form and are instead written with their final form without being connected to the next letter. Their initial form is the same as the isolated form. By the way, the letter we learned today happens to be one of those exceptions. That means we only have to learn 2 forms, isolated and final. You already learned the isolated version, so you just need to learn the final version. Let's write it. Alif. Now we will learn the final letter needed to write the word I in Arabic. That's Nun. The noon is pronounced just like the English N. Pretty easy, right? It basically looks like a semicircle with a dot on top. Remember that this is the isolated form. Let's write it. Noon. You got lucky with your first letter, but noon requires that you learn all 4 forms. Let's get them all out of the way at once. So we have the initial form for when noon appears at the beginning of a word, the medial form for when it appears in the middle of a word, and the final form for when it's at the end. Now try to write all 3. Noon. Great, you've already learned 2 letters of the Arabic alphabet. I think you're ready to learn your first Arabic word. The word you learned to write today is ana. This word means I. The first alif is isolated because it's at the beginning of the word. The second and the third letters, nun and alif, are connected. You may have noticed that the alif at the beginning has a little mark on the top. When alif is at the beginning of the word, we add this mark to it, but it's still the alif sound. There's an exception to this rule, but you can read about it in the lesson notes, and we'll talk more about this mark in a later lesson, so don't worry too much. Now try to write it yourself. Ana. Now it's time for Carol's tips. By now you must be overwhelmed by all the different variations and exceptions. And you also might be worried about that weird mark in the word you learned today. Don't worry, you don't need to understand everything 100% by the end of this lesson. I'll present the new concepts slowly over the rest of these lessons, and you'll soon find that Arabic writing isn't all that scary. Have you ever heard the Arabic word ab? In the next Abjadiya Made Easy lesson, you'll learn what it means, and most of all, how to write it. See you there, salam!
مرحبا أنا كارول. Hi, I'm Carol. Welcome back to ArabicPod101.com's العربية في 3 دقائق, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Arabic. In the last lesson, we learned how to thank people by saying shukran and shukran jazilan. In this lesson, we learned some of the most common greetings used in Arabic-speaking countries. هل أنتم جاهزون? Are you ready? فلنبدأ, then let's start. The most common greeting is marhaban or hi. Marhaban. This is a general way to greet people when you see them. A more cultural greeting is Assalamu alaikum. This means peace be with you and is generally used only by Muslims. We say it when we meet someone and also when we leave. Assalamu alaikum. Someone could respond to Assalamu alaikum with marhaban or hi, but it is more polite to respond to such greetings in the corresponding way. Since Assalamu alaikum means peace be with you, when greeted in that way, we should answer back with wa alaikum assalam, which literally means peace be with you too. Wa alaikum assalam. Whether you use marhaban, hi, or assalamu alaikum, it is also polite to ask the person how they are. كيف حالك? How are you? كيف حالك? Don't forget that in Arabic, the word you needs to have a gender. So, كيف حالك is good if you are talking to a man, but if you are talking to a woman, you should ask كيف حالك? كيف حالك? When it's time to leave, you can say وداعا or goodbye. وداعا. The other person can reply مع السلامة, which means be safe. مع السلامة. Let's review the phrases you've learned in this lesson. Marhaban is hi. Assalamu alaikum is peace be with you. The response is wa alaykum assalam. Kayfa haluka or kayfa haluki is how are you. Wada'an is goodbye. And ma'a salama is be safe. Now it's time for Carol's tips. If you're leaving and you want to show the person that you would like to see them again, you can use ila liqa, meaning see you, or ila liqa'i qariban, see you soon. ila liqa'i qariban. Now you know lots of ways to greet people in Arabic. During the next lesson, we'll learn the meaning of the phrase هل تتكلم الإنجليزية? Do you already know it? I'll be waiting to talk about it with you in the next العربية في 3 دقائق lesson. إلى اللقاء قريباً. مرحباً جميعاً, أنا كارول. Hi everybody, I'm Carol. Welcome to ArabicPod101.com's العربية في 3 دقائق, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Arabic. In the last lesson, we learned the most common forms of greetings in Arabic. Do you remember them? We introduced marhaban and assalamu alaikum, as well as shukran and ila liqa. In this lesson, we're going to learn a very useful phrase. Do you speak English? If you find yourself in a situation where you need assistance in English, this phrase can be a lifesaver. And because you're asking it in Arabic, you can be sure that everyone will understand what you're saying, even if their answer is no. Are you ready? Then let's start. Here's the basic way to ask if someone speaks English. هل تتكلم الإنجليزية? If you are talking to a male. And هل تتكلمين الإنجليزية? If you are talking to a female. هل تتكلم الإنجليزية؟ هل تتكلمين الإنجليزية؟ هل means do. You and speak are merged in the same word تتكلم for males and تتكلمين for females. إنجليزية means English. This is an indirect way of asking someone to speak to you in English. There are many ways of making it clear that you're asking the person to speak English to you. For example, هل بإمكانك التكلم بالإنجليزية? Means, could you speak English? هل بإمكانك means, could you? Are you able to? Or, is it possible to? And is referring to the ability of the person to speak English. Again, if you're talking to a female, you should change the last accent of ka to ki. So the question becomes, هل بإمكانك التكلم بالإنجليزية? التكلم means speaking and بالإنجليزية is in English. To be more formal, we could add the word please to the request to make it هل بإمكانك التكلم بالإنجليزية من فضلك? In this case, the question cannot mean the person's ability to speak English anymore, because you are obviously asking them to speak English to you. Since in Arabic the word please literally means from your favor, it should also be changed according to the person's gender. So, in case of a female, we should also change the ka ending of please in min fadlika to min fadliki. The question becomes هل بإمكانك التكلم بالإنجليزية من فضلك? The responses you will receive could be one of these three. نعم, yes. نعم. قليلاً, a little. قليلاً. There are a few ways of saying no in Arabic. لا or كلا. No, I don't speak English is لا أنا لا أتكلم الإنجليزية. لا أنا لا أتكلم الإنجليزية. It is exactly the same structure as in English. لا is no. أنا is I. لا means don't. أتكلم is I speak, and الإنجليزية is English. Since this last one is a negative statement, we need to say لا before the verb أتكلم or speak. لا literally means no, but when placed before a verb, it negates this verb, becoming don't or doesn't. Notice also that the verb أتكلم is slightly different than تتكلم, which we learned before. Remember, the verb changes depending on the pronoun used. We are now talking about أنا, Arabic for I. Thus, I do not speak is أنا لا أتكلم. Now it's time for Carol's tips. For those of you who are not native English speakers, you can obviously use this question with any language you need. Arab people study other languages at school, depending on the country they live in, so maybe you'll get lucky. Just substitute الإنجليزية with الفرنسية for French, الإيطالية for Italian, الإسبانية for Spanish, or الألمانية for German. In this lesson, you learned how to ask if someone can speak English. In the next lesson, we'll learn how to say excuse me and other ways to apologize in Arabic. I'll see you in the next العربية في 3 دقائق lesson. إلى اللقاء. مرحباً, أنا كارول. Hi, I'm Carol. Welcome to ArabicPod101.com's العربية في 3 دقائق, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Arabic. In the last lesson, we learned how to introduce ourselves in Arabic. Today, we're going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. هل أنتم جاهزون? Are you ready? فلنبدأ. Then let's start. There are several ways to thank someone. Let's start with the most common phrase, شكراً. Shukran. Shukran means thank you. To say thank you very much, you just need to add jazilan. Shukran jazilan. Shukran jazilan. Shukran is a formal way of saying thank you. If you want to thank someone more casually, say mutashakkir if you're a man and mutashakkira if you're a woman. Mutashakkir, mutashakkira. This phrase means I am grateful or I am thankful. When someone thanks you, how should you answer? There's no set response like you're welcome in English, but there are a few things you can say. The first is بكل سرور. This means with pleasure. بكل سرور. Another phrase you can say is تحت أمرك, which literally means at your service or at your disposal. If you're talking to a woman, you should say تحت أمرك. تحت أمرك. تحت أمرك. It is often used as a funny way of responding to someone thanking you. There are so many ways of saying you're welcome in Arabic. Another one is لا شكر على واجب, which means don't thank me, it's my duty. لا شكر على واجب. Now it's time for Carol's tips. Shukran can mean thank you or thanks. Arabic language is very emotional, and relations between Arab people are very personal. So what if you want to use an expression that sounds more friendly? In that case, you can use Allah يخليك. This is a nice way to thank someone. That means, may God protect you. Do you know what إلى اللقاء means? In our next lesson, you learn this and more greetings in Arabic. إلى اللقاء في المرة القادمة.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description. Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Arabic ebook before it's gone.